So if you guys like Rancho Santa Fe, you're gonna dig these other neighborhoods we're gonna jump into today. We're covering 3 neighborhoods. That are similar to Rancho Santa Fe. They have their differences, they have their pros, they have their cons, but I think it's worth a look if you guys are looking to move to San Diego and you're like, I want Rancho Santa Fe. Well, we're gonna give you some other options here. The 3 neighborhoods we're covering today, they're gonna be similar price points. They are gonna be a little more coastal, potentially a little more convenient as well. So let's jump into it right now.
So first off, we are here in Rancho Del Mar, which is, as you would expect, kind of right on the border of Del Mar and Rancho Santa Fe. And it lives a lot like Rancho Santa Fe. You've got big lots, big houses. So you have a lot of the same amenities that you'd have in Rancho Santa Fe, like pools, you see a lot of sports and tennis courts, you see a lot of that stuff here. Where if you get a little bit closer to Del Mar, the lots are a little bit tighter, a little bit smaller. So that's just something that this has that Del Mar doesn't specifically, but it's very similar to Rancho Santa Fe.
And one other thing, as we're walking right here, you'll see it in the drone footage a little bit, we're a little bit elevated. So as you come up off Via de la Valle, there's a big hill. Now Rancho Santa Fe, you're gonna find some views here and there, but this one is, I'm gonna say, this is just total guessing, this is gonna be twice as tall as Rancho Santa Fe, like elevation wise. But now you can see, like right now we're looking at the San Dieguito Lagoon right in front of us, which they're redoing, and some more trails and stuff. The Coast to Crest trail cuts through there, and we're just due east of the 5 freeway. So it is up here, you get some killer views and a bunch of different styles of houses. Off to this side, we're looking at like an original ranch style house. Off this side, it's like a newer style. As you go back, there's some like unique houses with like a lot of character and stuff. So a bunch of different choices up here as well.
Yeah, it definitely has that like architectural differences like Rancho Santa Fe does. There's a ton of like modern homes here too, which you don't see a lot in San Diego. So, you know, it's definitely more unique than a lot of other spots. So one of the great aspects of Rancho Del Mar also is it's got that same feel as Rancho Santa Fe, where it's really quiet. You don't have a ton of traffic. Most of Rancho Del Mar, there's no through street, so you're just kind of, everybody that's driving around lives out here. So very quiet. We have a past client that lives right around the corner in one of the gated neighborhoods of Rancho Del Mar. Super modern house, great views of the golf course in Solana Beach, and it's just silent. It's a great spot.
Yeah, the only thing we hear right now, there's a gardener back here cleaning up a yard. But this place, this area, it's a pretty small footprint. As far like Rancho, you're gonna have a ton more options, but we're gonna expand it right now. So let's go check out the few other spots that are very similar. So now we mentioned this is more convenient. We're in one of the areas that does feed to the first neighborhood that we were at, and all the other ones actually that we're gonna go to. But it's called Flower Hill Mall. We're standing right here, cool spot. But before we get into what it is, what's in here, 3 things. First off, if you see me grab my neck hurts today. So I slept wrong, nonetheless. Second off, Cassidy's back. Actually, we're gonna go this way, Cassidy, now. But he's been missing on the last few videos. He's back, guys.
Yep.
Third thing is, if you guys are thinking about moving out here, you got some questions, you wanna know if there's other neighborhoods that might work, or maybe it's Rancho, maybe it's Rancho Del Mar, maybe it's the other few that we're talking about today. We are a real estate team right here in San Diego, so feel free to hit us up, call, text, or email. Numbers popping up right now. We'll hop on a Zoom call, get you dialed in, and make sure you're ready to roll when you get out here. But Flower Hill Mall, cool spot.
Very cool spot.
Right on the other side, it's anchored by a Whole Foods. We're walking through kind of the center area here where you have a bunch of different, there's a Pilates spot here. There's a coffee shop on the other side, Nectarine Grove, a little breakfast / coffee shop, if you will. But very cool spot. A lot of places right across the street as well. There's another shopping center where you do have Gelson's grocery store. There you go.
As you can see, it's very quiet here right now. We're here in the morning. Not a lot going on, but it does get busier in the evening. And then also, just for a heads up, this area is right next to the Del Mar Fairgrounds. So during track season, during the fair season, this does tend to get a lot more busy. So just something to keep in mind, that portion of the year it is going to be a little busy, hectic.
The intersections right here is like where the freeway off-ramp is to get to the track, and people coming in from pretty much every direction here. So it does get, not only does this like center get packed, this whole area gets packed. So you have that a few times a year. You got the fair, you got the racing down there. They have 2 seasons now. But one of the things about living in this area, right up the road here is the polo fields, and every year, for the second year I guess in a row, they're gonna have the Del Mar Food and Wine Festival. So it's coming up, I believe, I don't know, I'll bring up the graphic here. I just checked it out today, but it looked cool. So you have some events right around here too. The Polo Grounds, they have other events out there as well.
At the end of the video, we're gonna show you another spot that you can get to really easy from around here, but let's go check out the next spot. So we're just a couple minutes away from where we were at the Flower Hill Mall. We are in Solana Beach, just east of the 5. And this is a really cool neighborhood. Definitely a lot more opportunity than a lot of other neighborhoods. There's a lot of kind of original homes still. So if you're looking for kind of that older style that you want to remodel, like the one that's coming up behind us right here. So there's just a lot of opportunity here. There's a lot of terrain, so there's not a lot of big flat lots. So you don't see as many sports courts and things like that like you would in Rancho Santa Fe traditionally. But it's a really cool neighborhood. There's big views. We're looking at the ocean right here, and it's super convenient too. You've got Flower Hill where we just were, but then you've got all the amenities of Solana Beach, just a 5-minute drive away from here.
Yep, you got a little bonus. Right to the north of us, you have the Loma Santa Fe Country Club right there. Like the neighborhood says, the 5 freeways right here. So you get Via de la Valle or Loma Santa Fe, like the 2 entrances right there. Once again, as with all these neighborhoods that we're showing you today, you're not getting a lot of through traffic. You can see we're walking down like the main road right now, and there's nothing going on. So, but it is, I would say, Cassidy mentioned the opportunity. There's a few more houses in here that have been here for a while that if you are looking fixer-upper, you're gonna find that here for sure. And then you're gonna find some that have already been done, but not a huge footprint here as well. And as the other part of Solana Beach, like Loma Santa Fe, the northern part, it's a little more of that country club feel. This is a little bit more of that rural feel. So even though we are in Solana, it's kind of its own little jam here.
And since we are just east of the 5 too, there is a little bit of freeway noise here. We can hear it right now as we're walking, but as you get off the freeway a little bit more, you're gonna have a little less noise. And then as for type of housing you're gonna find here, it kind of runs the gamut size-wise. You've got kind of that single-story ranch style, all the way up to big 4,000 square foot houses. So a lot of different options there. And we've shown a couple of houses in here. We showed a ranch style home a couple years ago. We've shown some of the modern houses too. So there's really any kind of style you want, you've got it here in this part of Solana Beach.
One of the benefits about the 3 neighborhoods that we are hopping into today compared to Rancho Santa Fe is where we're standing right now. You're gonna be like 5 to 8 minutes. That's my math. I don't know how exact it is from all these locations. The last neighborhood's actually even closer, but we're standing in Del Mar right now. You're gonna have access to all of the beaches here, Powerhouse Park, Dog Beach right up to the north, plus the Solana neighborhood. You're gonna be super close to all the Solana beaches as well. Well, I mean, all the neighborhoods are actually Solana beaches, but Del Mar's probably gonna be your main go-to. So that's probably the biggest benefit, where Rancho Santa Fe isn't crazy far out of the way. It seems a little further as you're going through the back roads. It takes a little bit longer, maybe 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes if you're a little further inland. But that's one of the big benefits of all 3 neighborhoods we're covering today.
After the next neighborhood, we're gonna show you a cool little spot with a ton of restaurants and stuff. But where we just passed through, there's a bunch of really cool local restaurants. You got Pamplemousse, which is a really cool spot. Market, which is in Rancho Del Mar. There's just a lot of cool little spots. You got Brigantine, which is right next to the racetrack. There's a ton of options. We showed you a little bit of like shopping and stuff, but there are a lot of just local restaurants, which we don't find in all of our North County cities. So kind of in this neck of the woods, it's cool to have a bunch of them all in one spot.
Third neighborhood is where the surf meets the turf, down in Old Del Mar, OLDE. I'll try to find the song. I don't know if it's copyrighted, but if I could drop it in here. If you go to the Del Mar racetrack, you'll hear that song played
over and over
again. But right now we're in Old Del Mar, and there's a trade-off here because the price points are going to be relatively similar to certain parts of Rancho Santa Fe. The trade-off is you're going to get a little bit, well, usually a lot bit less land. Gorgeous houses up here though. You have some styles that are like original, some that have taken that original property, basically scraped it and made these just incredible, fantastic houses.
Yeah.
The house we're walking by right now is just
maybe one of the coolest houses I've ever seen in San Diego.
Yeah, so just gorgeous. And there's many of them up here. It's just kind of these winding roads going through up here. One of the benefits is you're like super walkable to kind of the last where we're gonna finish today, and that's where Rancho Santa Fe, there's nothing walkable. Now you have some trails out there, some horse trails that you can walk to. If you're in the Covenant, you can walk down to the country club and stuff. But for the most part, it's not like walkable. And once again, all the neighborhoods, there's no sidewalks up here. It's just cruising through. So our lives are at risk again, but
always.
always. But you're gonna find, this is probably the neighborhoods that we covered today. This is gonna be like the biggest chunk of where you're gonna find the most houses. The other two were pretty small. This has actually got some size. It's not crazy big, but once again, another awesome option if you're thinking about Rancho Santa Fe, but you want a little more coastal.
So right now we're in Del Mar proper, Old Del Mar, as Chris mentioned. But as you go a little bit further south, you get into the city of San Diego. Not much difference. It's just permitting and all that stuff is a little bit different. But you also to the south have Torrey Pines State Beach, which is an awesome beach, and then you've got a whole bunch of hiking trails in there. Just recently did it with my son's class, and it was a blast. And you can pretty much pick a new trail every time you go and kind of explore. It's very cool. So now we are walking through the spot we've been teasing for this whole video, and that is downtown Old Del Mar. And a ton of options here as far as restaurants, shops, bunch of amenities. You've got the Del Mar Plaza, which we're walking towards right here. You've got Sabica, which is a popular restaurant around here, and a cool new brewery, West Brew. Sorry, I knew I was gonna mess that up.
Something with brew in it.
Yeah, West Brew, which is, they just remodeled and made it a really cool spot. But just a lot going on down here. You got a Borden Brew, which is always one of our favorites in any town.
Yeah, and once we get to this corner, I'm gonna spin us around and show you the plaza right back over that corner. Cassie's pointing to it. But that is like, if you're down here exploring, if you're checking out any of these neighborhoods, go there. Go to Monarch, have a drink. There's a coffee spot on top of the building too, a bunch of restaurants and stuff. But then you'll be like in the heart of where we are right now. You cruise up and down, see if you dig this area. All the beaches are right down here as well. You cruise, maybe if you're here during the races or the fair, that's right to the north as well. So anyways, good jumping off spot right here to explore all the neighborhoods that we just checked out today. And if you are checking out neighborhoods and you have some more questions, and maybe it's Rancho Santa Fe, maybe it's any of the areas that we checked out today, just as a quick reminder, we are a real estate team right here in San Diego, and you can call, text, or email. Numbers popping up right now. Feel free to reach out. We'll hop on a Zoom call and just get you dialed in and see maybe it's another area, because there's some other little areas that would probably work as well if that's places you're eyeballing. So feel free to reach out. We got your back when making the move here to San Diego. We're back in the studio. Let's hop into the map real quick and show you all the spots we just visited so you get a little bit better lay of the land. So here's what we're comparing it to, Rancho Santa Fe. All three of the places are due west of there. So we'll jump in a little bit closer and show you where they are. So as we're zooming in here, the first spot that we went to was just up Via de la Valle Road. So Rancho Del Mar is right about in this area here. This isn't exact, but it'll give you a good ballpark of where this area is. You can see this is where we were. So all of this neighborhood back here, just due west as you go down to the main road. So Via de la Valle right here. This is the one that we were saying gets busy because, as you can see, right down here is the racetrack. So during race season, anybody coming is going to be coming up the 5 or down the 5 and getting off these 2 exits. Now some of the side roads down here get busy too, but here's the main entrance right here. And then right at this corner here, this is the Flower Hill Mall. So convenience wise, you have all that we covered right in there. You have the Whole Foods on the other side. Over here is where you have the Gelson's. And then you have a bunch of little shops and stuff inside there too. So some like the Pilates place in there. There's a few other places to work out in there. A bunch more restaurants in there. A little Starbucks here. There's some local coffee spots in here as well. So to see how far we are from the beach, let's just choose a random spot over here. Then we're gonna go to Powerhouse Park and see what it actually tells us. So you're a little bit further. I said 8 minutes. We're looking about 11 minutes. Now you can go to other beaches in Solana and stuff. There's some stairs that go down here. Dog Beach is right where it says like 16 minutes right here. But if you want to end up where we were and go to the Del Mar Village, that's going to be down Camino Del Mar right here. As we zoom out right here, just give you another bird's eye view. Solana Beach, Del Mar. Here was Rancho Del Mar. And then as we go in this section over here is going to be east of the 5. That was the second neighborhood that we covered. So similar in style, similar in distance to everything. So there's a big condo complex down here. That's not really part of what we were talking about. But one of the cons of living in here is you do have the 5 freeway. So as you get closer to the 5, some of these homes in here are gonna have some road noise. And you can see it's not a huge area, but it will open it up as well. Now from this side too, you can go up to Coast Highway 101, and that's where you're gonna find a lot of the kind of Solana Beach downtown. You do have Cedros Avenue right here, which is another spot to check out just down to the south. That's where you're gonna have Del Mar Village. And then for directions in here, let's just see. So if you're living in here and you wanna go down to San Diego, if you're going to the airport or something like that, give you an idea of what you're looking like. So dump on the 5 freeway and go straight on down. Third neighborhood that we jumped into was in the city of Del Mar. As you can see, the city of Del Mar is much smaller than Del Mar. It goes back here, a few different areas, but Old Del Mar is kind of in this back area here. So it is east of Coast Highway, and this is where you're gonna be walking all down all these like little curve roads if you needed to down to the village. Obviously you're coastal as well. The beach we went to was right in here. It's Powerhouse Park, Dog Beach right up to the north here. And then there's a stretch of beach going along here. As you go south, you do start hitting a lot of bluffs. So just be, you know, there's not much access down there. If you're gonna be hanging out, walking up and down the beach, it's probably gonna be in this northern section. And so let us know if you guys want to hear some other neighborhoods like this. We do have other vlog style videos of Rancho Santa Fe you could check out, but drop us a comment down below and let us know what videos you want us to make.